Good day everyone, I'm the ADV Medic, and I just wanted to show you my DR650. I haven't really spent a lot of time talking about the bike itself, so this is what it comes down to. The number one reason I love this bike is how little it cost me to get into. This is a 1998, and this video, of course, I'm taking in 2019, so this is a 20-year-old bike. I looked for this bike for all of about a year, or possibly a little bit more, just scouring on Facebook and Craigslist and Cycle Trader and anywhere else I could find, and this bike came up. I only paid $1,800 for it, and it was pretty much bone stock, with exception to a couple things when I got it. When I got it, it had the Ricochet split skid plate. It had the this custom seat, which is a little different than the stock seats, a little cushier. It's not quite as good as like a Seat Concepts or a Sargent seat, but it is a nice seat, and it is quite good. So this tail right here, this is I think it's called the Tidy Tail. It's by a Cherubies, and it's a LED light, and then it has the light here for the plate. It just takes all this crap that they come with off, and it seems to be working really well. It doesn't flap or anything like that, and seems to work really well. So I really like that, and it actually came with that setup. So I much prefer that to the humongous thing that hangs off the end and that. But I would have changed that regardless when I got it. And then it has upgraded suspension, an upgraded spring, as well as a completely reworked cylinder for the rear. And on the front, it's got the progressive springs and the FFRC valves, and then of course proper new oil for both front and rear shocks. So and then of course it came with a brand new set of tires, and that was the Dunlop D606 front and rear, and they've been good tires, but I'll actually do a video on those particularly because I've got some issues with those, but I like them, but I don't like them. Things that I've done is I put on these Tusk D-Flex handguards, and they saved me down in Moab from having to replace probably handlebars and stuff. The Pro Taper bars on here, which have been great. I put this, actually made and put on this windscreen, and you can see I actually made this based on, if you guys are familiar with the different windscreens available for the DR, this one's based upon the Parabellum windscreen, and it's been a good windscreen. I actually had it about this high when I made it, but I cut about 6 or 8 inches off after I got back from Moab because it smacked me in the chest a couple times. It was a little too big, so I cut it down, and you can see it's starting to splinter here, and so this winter we're going to make a new one, and I'll be able to fine-tune it a little bit with the new one, and it'll be prime. We're gonna go ahead and actually do a video on that so you guys can see exactly how I made that. Of course, I added the Tusk fender bag, and that has the tire irons and a spare tube in it. I've got my panniers here, the Giant Loop Possibles bags, and then I just added some clips, so they clip on underneath right here, and they clip right above the oil cooler across the frame, and then right here underneath my tank bag. I'll actually pull this tank bag out so you can see how that works. And I just placed this clip right here. I bought these for about $3, and that seemed to take care of it. I have one there and one on the bottom, so I can very quickly remove those. These are waterproof as long as you roll them 3 times. I learned if you roll them 2, it's not waterproof. I learned that through a storm a couple weeks ago. And this pad is just the pad that came with this Core-Tech bag. I bought this on eBay for $20. It's been serviceable, but this is a fine case, and it's worked really well. I really like that this mat pocket can come right off. You can take it completely off, but it just flops all over the place. It's just made for a sport bike. It's not really made for a bike like this. It's made for a big flat tank, so it's time to replace it. And then I also added the lowered foot pegs. You might have seen the video on those. And then I've done a big change on the airbox and the carburetor. It was bone stock when I got that, and so I've made some changes. We drilled the hole in the top of the airbox, a 2-inch hole, and then put a breather filter on the breather hose for the carburetor. And then on the carburetor, it already had an upgraded needle, and so all I had to do was swap the main jet. I went from it had a 130 in there, so I went to a 145, and that changed this bike completely. It's got tons more power, and it's got a much better gas mileage since I did that. and it just doesn't sputter, it doesn't do anything like that. It just really works well. I've been really impressed with it. Other than that, just some little things I have is this little magnet holder. I'm going to change this to a ram mount, I think, pretty soon here. I like it. It works well, and if I was only on the street, this would be perfect. The problem is with this is you have to use the little sticky thing that goes on the back of your phone, and so you can see this little sticky thing, and this sticky thing is no longer sticky, and I'm just kind of tired of sticking it back down. Whenever it's warm, it comes off my phone, so I'm just not, I don't trust it. And as you can see here, my broken screen right here is because I trusted it, and that's the problem with that. But I like this mount. It has the little tripod mount, so I can mount the cameras on there. But unfortunately, it's not there. The only other thing I did, I think, is that I can think of at least, is the 12-volt power supply. So we've got a 12-volt socket here and a 5-volt socket for USB for charging and that. And I've got the switch right here for that. So that just turns that off. And then this switch is my grip heaters for the grips, and that's just the Tusk brand grip heaters. And then these are the Pro Grips. Grips, and I really like these. This is about my 4th machine with these on there, and I really like them. Anyway, so I hope that sheds some light on what I'm riding here. We've got some fun projects coming up on this thing this winter. We're going to put a new set of tires here on it in the next week or two. New brakes are probably going on at that same time. Might as well do that while we got the tires off, and possibly some other stuff. So it'd be a lot of fun. I might even do that seat sometime soon. So I really enjoy this bike. If you have any questions about the DR650, please send me a message. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. I'd also like to hear from you down in the comments section. So if you get a chance, leave a comment down in the comments below what your experience is with your motorcycle, what you're riding, and what are your favorite things about your bike. But for me, this is a really accessible, easy bike to ride with, and it's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the trails.